Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Max. So let's go ahead and get into our discussion this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your feedback and comments that I will see coming up here soon. I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate all of my congregation members. So you see the title, "Fatherhood in Today's Society." Now, I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure by now most of you have seen the video of the father who was going through child custody proceedings with his ex-wife and then his child's mother, and he killed his child's mother, killed the child, went and killed his ex-wife, and then killed himself. But before he killed his ex-wife, he did a Facebook Live video, and he was talking about the situation that he was going through in his court case. And it was so similar to so many other men that I've been in child support court with or child custody court with. And this is something that we've spoken on before, how the child support system needs reformation because they are very biased against the fathers, and everything goes towards the mother, and they will put men in bad ordeals and not even care one bit. And these men will go out and they will act out because they feel like they're helpless in the situation because the law is on the side of someone who's being vindictive against him, and he feels like he has no other option than to lash out and do something that he will regret for the rest of his life and for the rest of the lives of anybody else that's affected by what he does. And then all of a sudden, now we're painting him as a monster when the true monster is the person who pushed him to that point. Now, I'm not saying I'm condoning men going out here doing things like that, because I don't, not at all. But what I'm saying is there's cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And this man was reacting to some wrong things that were done to him, not only by the court system, but apparently by women who like to play these games with men when it comes down to child custody and using their children as weapons against people, using your child as a pawn in your chess game. And this brother took out the whole chessboard. He blasted everybody. He took out the child. He took out the mother. He took out the ex. He took out himself. And all of this could have been prevented if somebody would have stopped and said, hey, I'm hurting this child. My child is hurting behind this. Hey, it's important for my child's father to be in their life. And so I don't know if this man had violent tendencies before this. I don't know any of that stuff, but I will say by the way that he explained his situation and the sincerity that you could hear in his voice when he was speaking, and then the action that took place as he stood outside of the door of his ex-wife and waited for her to come out so he could murder her, you know that the things this man was saying was sincere. And I hate that it had to go to that, because just imagine, just imagine this type of scenario rolling over in your life and how that would affect you. Now, I'm looking at this like this. This is just personally me. This is just personally D Mac thinking out loud on his own to himself. If you don't agree, then you agree to disagree and keep it moving. If it don't apply, let it fly. But this is one of the scenarios that I play over in my mind when this story came out. So these men in today's society are not like men of my generation. And when I say that, I'm in my 40s. So these younger guys in their 20s and early 30s, they don't have that mentality that us older men have, because we came up in an era where they taught us to keep your head down, work hard, take care of your family, and whatever you got to deal with, take it like a man and keep moving. But see, that term "take it like a man" doesn't work for this generation of men, because they're not being treated like men, and they've got more femininity in them than they do masculinity. And so now you can't take it like a man. They can't just suck it up and hold it in and go and do what they got to do and keep it to themselves and deal with it on their own time like men normally do. They don't have that luxury. They don't have that instruction, because now they're living in a time where they're being feminized. They're saying it's okay for you to show feminine emotions. It's okay for you to do the things that a female would do, because girls are softer. I was looking at it the other day. They're doing a study to try to feminize boys, because they felt like all of the violence in the world came from men and their aggression. But little do we know, well, no, I take that back, because we know very well that we have women out there who are just as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than any man. And we know that there's been plenty of violent movements that have been started based on the lie of a woman. May I remind everybody about Rosewood? Yeah, Ving Rhames movie. That was an actual true movie, and it started all off of a lie from a woman who didn't want to get caught cheating on her husband. And so she made up this lie that got hundreds, a whole town full of black people killed. So let's not play like women are not capable of these things. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, child custody. I've seen some of the most horrible things come out of people during child custody hearings, and all of those things like that. It's bad to the point to where you can't post. Say you do something good. Say like you go and get you a new vehicle. You acquired you a new vehicle, and you feel good about yourself. You feel good about your vehicle, and you want to share that information with friends, and you post it on your Facebook or any of your social media. Guess what's gonna start? Oh, he got that. Oh, he living like that while I'm down here living like, no, we can't have that. We getting ready to go back into the courts, and we gonna ask for more money. But it's not about the child. It's not about the child needing anything, because up until that point, there was nothing said. But then after they see that you're doing better in life than them, or you're having a little bit of success in life, now they want a part of your success. And now they want to blame it on, oh, the child needs this and the child needs that, when it absolutely has nothing to do with the child. And the courts go right along with it. And so does the rest of society go right along with it. And you give these women the benefit of the doubt like they're great mothers. And I'm telling you now that there's some mothers out here that are absolute trash, and they need to be exposed for the trash that they are. And I see and I hear the stories every single day from men who I talk to on a regular basis, young men to older men, and they're all dealing with the same stuff. All right. So I just wanted to put this out here, and this is not an attack on the sisters. This is a cautionary tale, because you see how that young man snuffed out the lives of those women and that baby and himself. And all of that could have been avoided if somebody would have had the the mind or the heart to say, hey, what are we doing? My child is the most important thing in this scenario. And so we need to work together to make sure that our child has a balanced and decent life growing up. But nobody was willing to stop and say that. And now you have this situation. So before y'all go out there and start talking about this dude and calling him this and that, you look at what caused that whole situation. You look at the actions that was taken against that man to make him feel like his back was against the wall, and he can, if he can't see his child and he can't spend time with his child, then nobody will. See, that's the mindset that men are carrying today, because they weren't conditioned and trained to take it like a man like we were. See, and even then, when we were trained and conditioned to take it like a man, we still broke down because that is a burden to bear. That is a heavy burden to carry on your shoulders, knowing that somebody's intentionally doing things to keep you from your child, or when it's your turn to have visitation, they come up with a story. And I just said this the other day on somebody's post because I'm in this group called Black Fatherhood. Salute to all the brothers in that group. And there was a post to where a guy was talking about a situation similar to that, and I said this, and I'll say it again for everybody to hear. It's crazy that we as men feel like women have some type of inside information when they go to the courts. I don't understand why you don't document every single one of these incidents that these women are pulling, record it, take screenshots, all of the stuff that they do to us, and turn that stuff into the court, submit it to the court so that you can get custody of your child. Because if you're dealing with somebody who's psychologically unstable, guess what they're going to impart into your child? That same unstable mindset that they carry. And so who cares about what so and so thinks, or what who parents thinks, or whose feet you're going to step on? It doesn't matter, because the most important thing in that whole scenario is that child's well-being. And the courts have shown time and time again that they do not care about the well-being of the children. They care about that money coming in. That's all they care about, is that money coming in, because I've never seen a man get locked up for not following the guidelines of visitation. But I always see men getting locked up and put in jail for not paying that child support payment. And who knows what situation that man is going through, because we have some brothers out here who are taking care of more than one household, and they little money don't spread that far. You know what I'm saying? They spread thin by the time they get to the second household, and they still got two more to go because they got children elsewhere. Is that all the parents' fault? No, that's his fault for spreading this seed haphazardly like that out in the world. I can give you that. But at the same time, you need to take into consideration, such as the courts do, that this man has other obligations in his life besides you. But nobody wants to do that because it's all about me, me, me. I've even seen where women have said, don't bring that child around my house, or don't bring that child around this, or don't take my child around that woman. And it's never been about the wellness of the child. It's always been about the anger that that woman is harnessing towards that man and whatever other woman he's with. So just take these things into your mind and think about them on the day while you're going through your life and you're dealing with your child support situations and you dealing with your child custody situations. Just realize what you're doing. Are you doing it because it's in the best interest of your child? Anything that you do towards that other parent, the first thing you need to think about is, how is this going to affect my child? If that's not the first thought in your head whenever you're doing something towards somebody else that you have a child with, then you're doing it from your own anger, your own malice, and your own bitterness. So I don't care what you have to say about it. I don't care whose feelings get hurt. And I hope your feelings get hurt, because that's going to make you think, and that's going to hopefully make you assess your life and start to change some things in there. Because this is getting ridiculous, man. We're losing people out here unnecessarily over something as simple as, why can't I see my baby today? You know it's my visitation day, and you purposely gonna go and do something else when you know it's my visitation day. Total and utter disrespect for me, because I didn't give you some money. And 9 times out of 10, you wasn't going to spend the money on the child. You was going to spend it on what you wanted to, and then say, oh, this is for the house. Yeah, we know those types. Now, I'm not saying that's all of them, because there's some absolutely great moms out there. And I salute each and every one of you great mothers. My hat's off to you. Um, and I think you're great. What's up, Amina? I'm so sorry I got so caught up. I wasn't even checking my comments, but I'm so glad to see you, my sister. Um, Question and answers is how we can get better understanding. That's absolutely it. Thank you, because effective communication is something that I always talk about. Um, it's one thing to have communication with people, but if it's not effective communication, if you're not dealing with the issue at hand and you're beating around the bush and you're talking at each other instead of to each other, and you're not listening to each other and considering what the other person is saying so that you can come to a solution at the end instead of just winning an argument, then we're going to stay in the same type of situations that we're in. So we have to have clear and direct communication. That's absolutely right, my sister. That is absolutely right. We don't talk to each other right no more. We can't. It's like we're incapable of talking to each other in a proper manner nowadays. I think it has a lot to do with social media and the disconnect that we have with each other on a personal level, because we use this social media as our communication devices and our ways of socializing now. So we don't socialize like we used to. Socializing used to be us coming together at somebody's crib, playing some cards and cooking some food, and everybody sitting down and engaging with each other in physical, in a physical presence. We don't do that anymore. So the emotional connection has also been compromised in that as well. And so when you have that type of situation, then you're not going to have effective communication. You're not going to be able to say something that's going to convict the heart of somebody, because they've got so conditioned to just hearing, what is it? I guess I would say cyber messages, and that takes all of the feeling, all of the nuance, all of the anything out of your communications with others. And so, I just want us to, just emphasize effective communication with each other. We have to take this animosity out of ourselves. And brothers, I'm gonna tell you this, because you think it's just all about sisters being vindictive against men. No, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this very clear, because there's a lot of brothers out there who won't go and see their children unless they still have dealings with that woman, and I mean it sexually. But if she reject you sexually, then you will punish your child and not go and see them. Brothers, it's time to stop that crap too. That time is over with. And if any of my friends are doing that, yo, I got a problem with that. And if I find out, I'm definitely, absolutely 100% going to confront you on that, because you should not be using your child as a pawn to get sex from your ex. Yeah, didn't think I was gonna say that, did you? You didn't think I was gonna go up that street, but I'm going all the way up that street because a lot of you brothers are guilty of this thing, man. It's very guilty of this thing, and this is one of the reasons why that bitterness will come out of that lady, because you're hurting your child in this instance. Now, this is an instance where you are hurting your child, because your absence in that child's life is one of the biggest crimes in this world. That's one of the biggest crimes in this world, because that child lose balance, they lose identity and not knowing you. And if your people are not in that child's life, then they have a whole half of their existence that they don't even relate to or know about. And so that's half of their identity that they've missed. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all brothers, y'all in that same boat as well. As a people, period, we have to stop looking into ourselves so much and start looking at what we're affecting around us, because everything we do is like a ripple in the water, and it's going to cast out, and it's going to affect everything for a very large radius around you. So, man, I just wanted to get on here and say, I'm sorry for the loss of life. I'm sorry that man felt like he had to kill his entire family and kill his baby mama and kill his own baby because of the hurt and because of the anguish and because of whatever was going on in their little scenario. My prayers go out to the family of these people because I know they're devastated and they're hurting. And my prayers out to everybody who's listening because I hope that each and every person looks at this story and you take that cautionary tale and you start to apply those things to your life so that your child will have a chance at just a little bit of success out here, because if they don't have that balance in their life and they constantly seeing y'all arguing back and forth and they constantly see you disparaging the dad and constantly see this dad disparaging the mom, then how do you think they're going to go into their first relationship or in every relationship after that until they learn better? We have to be better teachers out here. We're more than just a parent. We're a teacher, we're a preacher, we're a doctor, we're their lawyer, we're everything rolled into one as a parent when it's needed. And so we need to start acting accordingly. It's time to put down our selfish things and it's time to really think about the future of this world. What did Whitney say? She said she believed the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. We missed that second verse. Yeah, the children are the future. I heard that so much, but I don't hear nobody saying that second part. Teach them well and let them lead the way, because you got all of these old heads out here who not willing to let go of the baton. And so it's slowing down the progress of our society growing. So move out of the way, teach these children right, and let them lead the way so we can sit back in our old age and we can feel good about the future of the world that we gave over to them. This is your boy D Mac, man. You said what? Said what? What I'm trying to figure out is his absence in my kid's life my fault? Because he says it is. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If a man wants to be in his child's life, then he's going to do what's necessary to be in that child's life. You know, we've been in bad relationships. We've been in relationships they didn't end well, and we still had to deal with each other afterwards. I've had that scenario so many times, and after a while, I got to the point to where I was like, "Look, man, I'm tired of banging my head on a wall anytime I want to see my children or something like that." And it was even some stepchildren who were very connected to me who still was a part of my life. And so I had to start all of that resentment, all of that anger, all of the things I felt like those people did to me. I had to push that down and I had to be cordial and let that go. I had to let that go so that I could be cordial around them so that I could see these children, because I seen that the most important thing was them having stability. And as they grew up and they saw their friends around them who didn't have a father in their life and who didn't have stability in their household and no structure, and they were thankful because they recognized that they had that in their life. Sis, my only advice is this. Look, do what you do for your child. Keep on taking care of your child. If he falling short and he falling off, I'm not saying don't hold him accountable, but just do what you got to do and only expect from him what he's able to do, because we want these guys to be great fathers and we want them to be upstanding men, but the honest truth is it's just not in their character to do so, and they're not capable of doing so. So don't expect higher things out of this man than he can give, and just meet him at that level where he's at. Safeguard and protect your children from any wrong things that he's doing, but still afford him the opportunity to be in their life. Now, if he chooses not to, that's on him. And since you move on about your life feeling good and knowing that you did the right thing based on your children's needs. And he's going to have to deal with his wrongdoings. And that's when the courts come into play. And that's when the courts are beneficial. And that's when the courts are able to mediate the situation, but we can't be using the courts as weapons. And that shouldn't be our first go to. We should be able to sit down and try to hash things out before we take it to that level. Now, if you can't, then that's when the courts are necessary, sis. That's the best advice I can give. And I hope he get his mind right. I don't know anything about this gentleman, but I do know about men. And if he needs to be held accountable, then so be it. That's what the courts are for. But if you don't need the courts and you can get him to cooperate without having to go that route, a lot of times that'll save everybody a lot of animosity, a lot of tension, and everything else. Because you see that the child's well-being and the child's growth is most important. Um, I I don't want them people in my business anyway. I understand that, sis, because when you start to get the government into your business, then they're going to start trying to regulate your life. And that's one thing I don't like about the welfare system is how they try to regulate these women's why I say welfare, child support system, but that also connects to welfare because even in the welfare system, they try to regulate your life. And they use child support as one of those things because they'll say, oh, well, you're getting welfare, you're getting WIC, and you're getting Medicaid and all of that. So you're going to have to do A, B, and C in order for us to keep giving you this supplemental income for your child. And if you decide to get with a man and y'all decide to go out and start to build a life together, we're going to take all of that assistance from you. These are the options that they give people, and these are the ways that they push people into a corner who don't feel like they have any other options. And so we have to look out for these things and just be the best people that we can be towards each other, man, so that we can keep these people out of our business and out of our lives, because their best interest is not for our children. Their best interest is to get money. This is your boy D Mac. Amina, I'm so glad you came in and I appreciate you. I hope I said something that was able to, give you a little solace and a little peace about the situation. And my prayers go out to you and your situation as well. You're a strong woman, and I know that you have a lot to offer anybody. And so, they're gonna be all right. He gonna come around. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, no matter what they've done or what they've said. There's going to come a point in their life where they're going to come across a scenario that's going to make them face their inadequacies, and they're either going to do something about it or they're going to continue in their mess. This is your boy D Mac, man. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.